Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, and I just got done watching something amazing, something downright phenomenal by the name of Grease Live. Only just aired a couple of nights ago as of the time of this recording, and mind frickin' blown with awesome sauce. No kidding. And I say this as a lifelong fan of the film Grease, starring, of course, John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John, respectively, as Danny Zuko and Sandy, and a whole host of others. I love this movie. You know, it's one of my all-time favorite musicals. Singing in the Rain and this film are always neck and neck for my top favorite musical ever. And, this movie hit me, very early on in life. Between the ages of 3 and maybe 6 years of age, I'm rolling around in a black windbreaker because I want to be Danny Zuko. I wanted to be a greaser, and I carried this all the way through to my teens, where for a while I hadn't seen the movie, and I watched it again, and I just found it all over again, and really set as a precursor to even my passion for the Blues Brothers and everything like that, and doing a tribute act to that effect. And I actually have a picture of me as a kid, never mind the Hawaiian Punch Punchy shirt, but rolling around in that black jacket, just trying to look 50s greaser punk, everything like that. Early 80s, I'm a kid, and I'm trying to walk around like a greaser. So I watch, this particular live event, and really in building up to it, as I started to hear about it, that this was going to be a thing that was happening, I was really chomping at the bit with curiosity to see, could they pull it off? I mean, the whole thing is live, put on live and recorded and all that kind of stuff. And they were blocking all of the different camera things and all the dances. And I mean, almost 2 hours, 40 minutes, almost 3 hours, something like that, for the entirety of this production. And holy hell, did they pull it off? And then some. I'm the type of person that I'm really sketchy with certain, musical performance things. I grew up on the TV series Fame, and I would get into a lot of the productions they would put on in that show. But beyond that, and beyond the musicals that I really highly find myself fascinated by and drawn to, sometimes I have a hard time watching that stuff, and I'll turn it off after a few minutes because it's almost, by a sort of extension of empathy, you're almost embarrassed. It's a weird thing like that, and I was afraid that's what I was going to be feeling going into this. I knew some of the people casted in it, and I didn't know a lot of the others, and it was one of those things where I turned it on and I was expecting to not want to sit through it. I was expecting to be disappointed or turned off by it. The next thing I know, it's the final production, the final song in the production. We go together like rama lama lama da ding a ding a dong, all that stuff. I got tears in my eyes. I'm like, my God, they it was a masterpiece. They got it. And what I really loved, because I've never been able to see the stage play in any of its incarnations. There are different versions where sometimes songs are swapped in and out and that kind of thing. And this particular production, it's a marriage of both the film, the 1978 film, as well as certain elements of the stage production and that kind of thing. And there's a couple original songs I've read up subsequently after seeing it that are also thrown into the mix. And it's just everybody is spectacular. If I grew up my entire life wanting to be John Travolta or Danny Zuko, an extension of Travolta's performance, by the end of this, I wanted to be this Danny Zuko as well, as portrayed by Aaron Tveit. Julianne Howe, Aaron Tveit, Vanessa Hudgens, Carlos Penavega, Carly Rae Jepsen, Keke Palmer, Mario Lopez, Didi Conn, from the original Grease, the original Frenchie. Didi Conn plays Vi, the waitress in the diner. You have Barry Pearl, the original Duty from the original Grease. And as soon as I saw them, it was goosebumps. It was so, I was just mad excited. Eve Plum is in this sucker. You have Jessie J doing the opening, you know, covering for Frankie Valli, the song Grease, the title song. Boys to Men taking over, you know, the whole beauty school dropout thing for Frankie Avalon, which was freaking perfect. You know, and like, it's just, there's so much of this was perfection. And I really love, like, there was a whole sort of playing on the whole, like, you know, going to space thing, even though it was set, I think, in 1959. But the idea of the frontier of space, and you had, you know, the character of Eugene being very much a sort of a rocket club representative. That's his whole thing. It's like the science club, you know, of the day, at least in the portrayal of this particular piece. And I love that he became an integral role into, you know, how they win at Thunder Road. And so you basically have Danny in this production giving him a T-Bird jacket. He is made a T-Bird. The nerd inherits the earth, you know, that kind of thing. And like, there's just so much about Grease. It's an underdog thing. It's talking about relationships, infidelities, being a youth, you know, a teenager, and finding yourself, as well as how you're going to interact with other people, and the loyalties there, and the friendships there, and the rivalries, and just so much with all this rock and roll, you know, like 50s rock and roll, and even into the 60s. I mean, you had things like Sha Na Na in the original film, and you know, Frankie Valli in the Four Seasons, which carried on the whole doo-wop 50s rock and roll vibe beyond the 50s into the 60s and 70s, and all of that is on display in this frickin' production. It's just awesome sauce. I also get to give props for one of the minor players, if you will, this actress by the name of I believe it's McLemore or something like that, who played this version of Patty Simcox. And whereas in the original film it was kind of like you can't stand that character, I don't know what it was about this performance, but she nailed it. She managed to take those aspects of that character but also be likable. And that's the thing about everybody in this. Everybody was just awesome. They were immediately likable. And like the performances, the songs, I found out subsequent to this that Vanessa Hudgens as Rizzo, her father had passed away the day before this production was going to take place, and she didn't miss a beat. You know, like, I've lost both of my parents. I've lost all my grandparents, with the exception of one as of the time of this recording, who is in poor health, and it's a travesty. And to be able to not only keep going and have the strength to keep moving beyond something that hard, but then to do a performance like this, my God. Like, I saw they were advertising, you know, pre-order this sucker on like DVD and everything like that. I am going to own this sucker like a bad habit. You know, I don't even own Grease 2. Eventually I'll get it just for posterity's sake and just to have, but I mean, I want this right next to the original Grease because they completely did this well service, you know. I'm just chomping at the bit. I'm just so stoked by what they did with Grease Live. It was a hell of a show. A hell of a show. And like, to think the months, you know, of preparation to get everything so spot on. It is mind-blowing that this was live, you know, like the whole performance. Like, yeah, I'm sure people were tired as hell by the time this was done. I'm looking at all these people, I'm like, holy crap, man. I wish I was that young and vibrant and healthy and doing all this stuff and everything and not missing a beat. Not missing a single beat. I mean, you feel Grease Lightning when they perform it, you know. When Zuko is in the drive-in and he's singing to Sandy, and, you know, Hopelessly Devoted to You is her sort of answer to that. And it's just all of these performances, man. Like, seriously. My God. It was, like, I feel like for somebody like me who is such a fan of Grease and has grown up all my life, as I say, as a fan of Grease, I feel like it was a privilege to see this performance. it was a privilege to be alive this day and having been able to watch it, because just aces, man. Just aces. They can't print those DVDs soon enough for my taste to get one on my shelf and watch it again, share it with my sister and everything. 'Cause damn, just applauds, accolades to everyone involved in this. You made my ever-loving day by being able to see this and see how spot on it was. So yeah, I mean, anyone watching this particular video, I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below. If you've seen this particular performance of Grease live as it was aired on Fox in the US and not sure what other stations abroad and such like that, if you were just as taken aback and just, you know, feeling the glory, the badassery, the awesome sauce of this particular production, anything goes in the comments below. Our POVs can certainly disagree, so love it or hate it. Let me know what you thought of it. I mean, if it didn't fly well with you, if you'll, you know, be happy with this and this alone, this particular, you know, film version of it, take it or leave it, love it or hate it, anything goes. Just love having that conversation, but I had to come on after seeing this. Again, like I say, I feel like it was a privilege to experience this and to see the care and the dedication and the just expert performances, the new songs that I'd never been familiar with and everything like that. It's just amazing. And so yeah, with all of that, enough of my yak, and hope this video finds you well, and I'll catch you all later. Peace.